Good day. Much love to you and yours. Um, Many times, every day, I'm being gang stalked, but you don't hear me complain about it every day. And you don't hear me complain about it every day, all day long, as this is a normal part of my life. And there are times when um, I can feel overwhelmed, and I will make sure that I second and third guess myself in order to get it right, especially if you're publishing what's happening to you and your credibility is on the line. You want to make sure that what you're saying is true and you're not just tripping or just frustrated or just, things in your own life are off balance, making a projection that people are doing things to you. This is not the case. This is a gang stalking update. If you are being gang stalked, there is certain behaviors that are being orchestrated against you that are there to throw your frequency off, to make you feel inadequate, to make you feel a little crazy, to make you second and third guess yourself, um, to pull you into an isolation, a place of distrust, because they're so organized. It's like whenever you do reach out to either people or organizations, they're at weight and they use the opportunity that you've mustered up in order to trust the public to abuse their privilege and make whatever brownie points that they get from their gang stalking program. So, with that being said, whatever doubts that I had about this new company that I rented my laptop from, um, being a part of the government gang stalking program or cooperating with it, it left me um, when I came home and I had a problem getting, first of all, the videos off of my phone. I had a problem with my phone, and then getting them onto Facebook. They didn't want to upload. That was a separate problem. And then downloading them from Facebook was an issue, a separate issue. But I managed, and I was diligent, and I got them in here. Also, my laptop um, had an issue, and then the Microsoft that I mentioned in the video, some fake freaking virus thing popped up. And I mean, just the way it looked and everything, I knew that it wasn't legitimate, but it was very timely. The things will be timely while you're second and third guessing yourself. They'll pile other things on top of it, like almost like a knife. You know what I'm saying? It's really crazy. And the woman that I was talking to, you'll see the video. The woman the manager that I spoke to, I thought, you know what? Maybe she's a friendly, right? But I realized now it was more like good cop, bad cop. Um, I am so tired of having to deal with this gang stalking situation. But anyway, you're welcome to watch the video on frequency and how they will really diligently work hard at changing your frequency. And if they change your frequency, it's very difficult to plug in, to source energy, to study, and it changes your whole way of looking at the people in your life, at your life, the neighborhood that you live in, the resources that you have to use. I've been through it, y'all. The grocery store, the YMCA, where I rent my laptop from, the freaking landlord. I mean, this is not going away. And yes, there's times when you can feel doubtful, but be assured, study the techniques that they use. Soul Catcher is a very good book. There's plenty of other people that are being gang stalked for many years that know patterns and stuff, that are survivors. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you for hanging in there and then reporting what happened to you, because it helped me. Much love to you and yours. Watch the video, like, subscribe, share. Please donate. Good day. This is Regina's Rabbit Hole, Siren Buddha Medicine. Much love to you and yours. I'm going to be talking about frequencies. So bear with me because I'm actually going through these frequencies right now. This is an update on being a targeted individual. So I want to talk about how they use frequencies. If you're centered, meaning balanced, feeling calm, able to get in touch with yourself, then you have a sense of security inside, a sense of peace. And that vibrational frequency, like a chain, like a link, other things can attach themselves of like-minded frequency to that. So if you're feeling relaxed and calm and sure of yourself, and you have your frequency balanced, then other like-minded frequencies can come and attach themselves to you. But what they've been doing is using like a GUI. There's this other frequency that's overshadowing you. And so if you're off balance, you can't very well find your group, find your soul group. You're off-centered. And so it's important to keep you off balance and off-centered. One of the other reasons is that when you have that center space and you're balanced, you can connect with the spiritual energies and you're able to get answers from your ancestors, okay? You're able to get answers from your higher self. You're able to get answers from what you deem is a higher power, or higher authority, or what you call God. Or when something pulls a rug out from underneath you and you're off balance, then you're pretty much in touch with everything else but that space that allows you to feel connected to source energy, which is, to me, one of the most important reasons we're here to learn. One of the most important lessons that we're here to learn is that we're a part of source energy. And in so many ways, right? So they use these frequencies like technology, refrigerators humming, your smart meter, I don't have a microwave, but if you have a microwave, it could be emitting a frequency. Just like we have unconscious thoughts in our mind, we have frequencies that we are not on the surface, like we're not paying attention to them, but they're there. They're like low wave humming, low wave frequencies, but they're emitting a vibration that does affect your being, your aura, the way that you think, the water in your body. It does change the way that you feel. Then they have these weapons that they literally, it's outside of the refrigerators and stuff, your electronic equipment inside your house, which can be weaponized. It goes into satellites and handheld weapons. They have a brain to skull technology. They have frequencies that they can send to disrupt your thinking, to change the way that you think, literally bypassing your normal thought processes. So if you don't know yourself, you may think that something that you're hearing is actually you, a voice from inside you, or an inner authoritative voice, but it isn't. That's a frequency. And the war with the Afghanistan, that part of the world, there was the story, excuse me, because I'm walking and dealing with other things that I'm trying to defocus off of. So they had the soldiers in the war, and they gave them the voice from God technology. And that is where they use these frequencies and bypassed all their reason, putting this voice into their head. And they thought that it was the Almighty speaking to them. Okay, and they put down their weapons. And America pretty much won that battle via technology, frequencies. So, when all that doesn't work, okay, say you meditate and you know yourself. You're in touch with your inner voices. And you can peep the world around you. Well, you become an enemy and dangerous because you can see things that normally other people are in a hypnotic state that they're not paying attention to because they're on some other stuff, some other frequencies, and you're on a different one. So you kind of stepped out of line of the norm. So, when their technology is not working on you, they'll do things like put love bites. They'll do things to weaken your resolve and your ability to trust your own reasoning, to second guess yourself. And they do this with pacing and mirroring. It's this, I've been looking at, that's a whole nother topic. I've been looking at the dark arts and how they stole our ancient technologies and how they're being utilized within what we so-call modern civilization today. For instance, channeling the power of the planets through the calendar, through the holidays, through sacrificing people, through monuments that we don't even recognize and stuff, through the ciphering energy through these different deities, renaming the deities and claiming these energies and this scientific spiritual knowledge for themselves. So, when all that stuff doesn't work, they'll do other things like stage performance, street performance. And that's when they have gang stalkers. When you're walking, they might do street performance and stuff. Like there's a lot of actors. They'll just act out certain things that they want you to catch the frequency of. If somebody's echoing something in your life or saying something that stands out, that's how they do it. That's how it stands out, is they're echoing. They're echoing things, private things that are happening in your own life using mind control techniques, and that's one of them. So, that's frequency. They're matching frequency for frequency, but only in order to disrupt your connection with yourself and with your higher self. So it's important to put all these other distractions in your path. Know this. That means mates, family members, your job, different organizations. They will use their agents to fulfill their agenda. Now, I'm walking to a place called Aaron's right now. So on top of all the other stuff that I've been dealing with, love bites, regular technology giving off emitting frequencies, and then the satellite frequencies, and then the stalkers, okay, and their technology working on affecting me. And then, like I said, the street performance where they're work on getting your attention in a counterproductive way. It's to suck the energy out of you and kill your spirit. Sometimes to put fear into you, which will, fear is a mind killer. That's what I'm doing. So, they mess with your technology, stop you from uploading, mess with the internet, mess with your bank account. They do mess with your email. Although a lot of people feel like there's certain things that are sacred. Like, we can be so naive, like the post office, right? That has to be sacred, right? They can corrupt everything else, but the post office is off limit. That's like equivalent to thinking that you shouldn't pull the tag off the pillow. It's illegal to pull the tag off of the pillow. And first sign of freedom is being able to pull that bad boy off of there. No, there's just nobody coming. Or is there? They know you broke the rules. They might just pop up in your unconscious mind. That's just a joke. Okay, so with all the problems that I'm having with my technology, humor is a really good tool, by the way, and enables you to deal with a lot of different unjust things that we see as oppression. All right, so I don't know if you've heard or not, but I've been having a lot of problems with my electronics and laptops and stuff like that. So what I did was, because they put viruses in there and they crash, and stuff that I already mentioned in my other podcasts. So we're on frequency. What I'm getting at is, there's this place called Aaron's that I rented my laptop from. Now, I was trying to think of where in the world did I get the notion to rent from these person in the first place, and I think that it was some kind of advertisement or email that popped up. Now, you know that the government is in control of the internet, okay? So yeah, they had this promotional deal where it was supposed to be free for the first month to try their deals. Now, their prices for renting was kind of crazy, you know, but because they had virus software and stuff, and they're responsible for maintaining the laptop if something has a problem or whatever while you're renting it, then they have to take care of that. And because of all the problems that I was having, I thought that might kind of level out for me, because if the laptop crashes or whatever, Aaron's will have to fix it. And if I get a virus, they have virus software and stuff, so I can get a little help there as far as the stalking my laptop and stuff is concerned. I'm a little bit covered with the insurance. If they mess it up, I can bring it back to Aaron's, and you know, they could fix it or get me a new one or whatever, because that's what I'm paying for. Cool. I'm gonna hang out here because I'm almost there. So I call him up and I learned, no, I can't get the free thing, because I wanted my payments, instead of being I wanted my payment due a day away from what they normally would schedule their payments to be taken out. So she says, if you want your payment to be taken out on a particular day so that they can make sure they get paid, since it's automatic, we're gonna have to charge you over $60. So there, I agreed to it. So the free month, poof, gone. Now I'm stuck paying over $60 just because I want to make sure my payments are covered, and that I have an extra day for them to come in. So okay, I'll agree to that. So bring the laptop home, I have problems with it. It won't stay charged. They didn't give me the right adapter plug to it. It's supposed to be a game laptop, and it's slow turning on. So that already told me there's a problem. I'm rolling my eyes, but I'm grateful, right? Then the plug wouldn't work. They gave me the wrong, I don't know if you call it a something L freaking plug adapter, but it needs a really high quality plug in order to run this laptop, because it's a gaming laptop.
So I had to call them up and tell them that I can't take my laptop anywhere, and it's not staying charged. It's barely staying charged, into the wall. I got to shut it down because the plug doesn't have enough juice. So I call them up and they tell me to have to order it. They don't have it there, and it should have been with the laptop, but they kept the plug. Okay, so I waited. So now I'm paid $60 for something that's dysfunctional. All right, payment is due for the following month. Oh, they said they were going to order the plug. So I'm saying, you're saying that I paid for dysfunctional equipment that I can't even use properly for the month. And the reason why I'm paying these high prices is so that I have functional equipment, because I'm an internet web provider. Okay, I spoke with the manager. She took, good day. She took, I think it was 20% off. I think it was 20% off. So it rounded off to, I think I saved 20% off because of the plug. Next month comes up. Now I paid for them to take the money out of my account, right? That was what $60 was for, instead of being free. But they overdrafted my account because they charged my account twice. Once for the security equipment and once for the laptop. But because of the way that it hit my bank, it automatically shut down their payment, because they didn't have one payment. So the manager from Aaron's calls me, and he's very rude, and he's telling me that I owe him money, and I'm telling him that as far as I knew that it was paid. I even called to make sure that they were paid because I didn't want any problems, because I had such a problem with Sprint. Now, it took me a long time to realize that Sprint was messing with me, and they were part of the gang stalking agenda. So I dropped Sprint and stuff. Obviously, I have a whole nother set, so I figured I would get my laptop and stuff from Aaron's, like I said. So I was really hoping that this didn't transcend to another place of business. But like I said, they do use institutions and places of business. So my bank account was charged twice, declining the payment that Aaron's was asking for, because it looked at it like it was suspicious. So when the manager called and I was trying to get to the bottom of it and explain things to him, he was extremely rude to me, like hostile male energy. And so I had to come here. I walked here and I spoke with a manager, and it was a woman, and she was very intelligent, articulate, and she handled the situation, and I was able to explain to her without all that aggressive male energy. Like, he was being intimidating, like he was a drug dealer on crack or something, like, you need the money, or he was a mob or something. He had that kind of not business-like and professional. He was hostile and intimidating, And so when I spoke to her, I was ready to give the laptop back, y'all. Really, I was. And frustrated with I was like, here we go again. But, because they love to use that male energy that is distrustful and, not very forgiving or kind to the female principal at all. Like, they see you and it's like, I don't know, something in them goes off and they get very angry and aggressive. And you don't have to do anything. You just could be in the room and you could feel that energy from these men, these particular type of men. So I walked here and she took care of it. She told me that we would straighten it out and I could bring my payment in cash, not to worry about it. And so when I spoke to him on the phone and he called me, I said, well, as far as I know, you're supposed to have your payment and I actually don't have the money. So if you're telling me that I have to bring my laptop back and give it back to you, I might as well give it back to you now, because I don't have the money for the whole month, because you should have been paid. I don't know what happened because the way he was speaking to me and stuff. So I did straighten it out. I called my bank. I found out what happened. That what happened was actually, my bank told me, a flaw on their behalf because of their billing system and the way they were billing my bank account. And if the manager would have only taken the time to speak to me as a human being, we could have straightened it out, and I could have came in like I did with the woman manager and just handed her the payment, and I worked it out with my bank. But now I had an overdraft payment that I was responsible for because I couldn't talk to this man and straighten it out properly. It just didn't go right at all. So she tells me, okay, yeah, just bring your payment in every month so that we can avoid this problem with charging your bank account. Great. Then I explained to her what I'm telling you, and I said, I'm dealing with this guy being aggressive. I'm dealing with faulty equipment. I finally got my plug. I said, thank you for the plug. I had to wait for the plug. It should have been with my equipment. I'm paying for a problem, and I really feel apprehensive about renting from you. She said, well, what do you want me to do? What do you want? And I spoke up for myself, and I said, the reason why I paid the $60, the initial $60 payment to begin with, was to make sure that my payments would be taken out appropriately from my bank account without a problem. That didn't happen. So now that I have to wait and bring my payments in cash to you, right? I should have my over $60 payment back in my pocket because I didn't get the services that was for. She said, you're right. So she took $60 off of my last payment. That was for this month. So I walked in and I paid in cash, and she gave me my initial down payment for the laptop back. So here we are in the middle of the month. I'm getting phone calls again from this freaking guy, this manager who's very rude, hostile. My whole body shakes as soon as I hear his voice. I can hear all his stuff. And what I say is they use frequency is that it's corresponding with, I've met very wonderful Latino or Hispanic people, all right, that I enjoy being around. And then there's other ones that are just as corrupt as any black person or white person that you would not want to be around because they're carrying certain things inside of them. Okay? And the house next door has a new tenant, 2 new tenants, I think. And one of them has a really loud car. And I really do feel sometimes that I'm being shadowed by this person's energy. And this is a gang stalking tool. It's like when you get up and you go out your house, you notice other neighbors getting up and going out their house. There was an issue with the dog once. The neighbor across the street had a dog. And when I would wake up or I would move around, just open my eyes, the dog would start barking. And that would let me know that was trauma, that they had some kind of technology attached to, well, the brain reading technology was attached to that house or that dog, where when I woke up, the dog was actually being signaled. Now they stopped it with the dog, but I'm actually getting some of that with the car that revs up in the next door neighbor. This is all frequency. This is all mind control. These are all techniques that I've been researching that are actually used. So, yeah, since yesterday I've been getting phone calls from errands that I owe them money. Here we go again. I don't owe them money. I said to the guy, I don't owe you money. He's rude to me again. I said, well, he says, I'll have the manager call you back. The one that I wanted, the female one. I have not heard a female's voice yet. I have not heard her voice yet. It's been a whole bunch of male energy talking at me real fast, very aggressive. And so I'm here making this for my publication later. I'm at errands. And I will be going in and I will be speaking with them and letting them know the same thing that I told you, that I don't owe you any money. And I will see you next month with the full payment that I do owe you. And that's only if this goes well, because I can rent from somewhere else. This is ridiculous. But what I really feel like, check this, right? Aaron's has a space on a laptop where, because I'm renting, they can still get into the laptop. I guess maybe it's a safety clause from them in case people try to hijack their equipment and just run off with it. But I suppose they can still remotely have access to my laptop. Okay? Now, if Sprint, a major company, was abusing their rights and privileges with my phone and tablet, I know doggone well logically, you know, just like don't rip the tag off the pillow, that this place, you know, if they're in with in on the gang stalking thing and the government control of citizens or peoples, they could very well be doing the same thing. And that's what this is looking like. So I've been documenting, you know, my treatment from them, and I'm about to go in here and see what happens. Hopefully, you know, I will see the woman that has sense, you know, or be able to speak with a male that wants to be act appropriately. But I don't deserve this energy every time I go to rent something or deal with an agency. Like Waterbury is so impoverished for work and stuff that these technologies, this gang stalking program is just like it's on super kill, you know. And it's just really crazy. If you have eyes to see, this place is infested. And I think they're just really taking advantage of the impoverished situation that a lot of people are in. So, yeah, there we are. That's the place that I'm going. We're going there. I hope I have better. I hope someone has a better rapport than what I've been going through. So, I'll let you know what happens after. Okay, frequency. So, what happened is I just went in and I could hear his voice in the background. I spoke with someone else. The manager that I made the arrangement with and stuff, she's not there. She's not going to be in until tomorrow. So, I asked them, can you at least please stop calling me until I speak with her, you know. And so I'm glad to know that she's going to be in tomorrow. I don't think that she'll have amnesia over our arrangement. She's been pretty intelligent and cordial about the whole thing, which I appreciate, businesslike and stuff. So what I notice is I changed my pattern when it comes to frequency. This is important. See, these gang stalkers and the government, I mean, although they have the brain reading technology equipment, I don't think they share everything across their lines all the time. Like, they have their people who follow you and stuff that are gang stalkers. And I don't know how much of the technology that they have privilege to as far as the feed that goes into Silicon Valley that they use from the brain reading technology. Because sometimes, well, a lot of times, their foot soldiers, their gang stalkers will echo things. So I don't know if they're echoing because they're getting fed relay, you know, or if they're getting it some other way, like through a handheld module or something. Like one of them has access to that and feeds them what they need to know on need-to-know basis. So what I notice is that when you change your pattern, it does throw things off just a wee bit. I haven't been going online as much. That's like a frequency change, you know. You exercise, you have a lot of energy, all of a sudden you stop. That's a frequency change. When they're monitoring your brain and your body's functions, your frequencies and stuff, your vitals, okay? Any change would throw things off and would need notation, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of variabilities that they're keeping track of. So when it comes to frequency, I stopped going online as much, stopped going on Facebook as much. So you just tweak some of the things that you do and you change your pattern. And so when I'm not sharing, it's harder to figure out what I'm doing because I'm not just telling them. Drop a dime. There's something else I was trying to remember. That's what was coming out kind of fuzzy as I'm walking. Oh, yeah. Changing the frequency. The thing with errands, they have that thing on the laptop where they can still have access it via remote if you don't pay. And I changed the code on my laptop. Not only did I change my passcode, but I rerouted the way that you go into it, like going through my Microsoft, going through another channel instead of going through the laptop, just putting in your regular passcode. I went through another route where the information is being fed to like my Microsoft. Okay. And then I noticed that I started having problems with the laptop. So I shouldn't be having no calls this month talking about I owe anybody anything, but yet I am. And I think it might be synonymous with the change in my pattern, changing the code on my laptop, and not being so accessible. Like I haven't been going out as much, so there's not as much opportunity to follow me. I don't use their facilities as much, so there's not as much opportunity to interact with me and do their stage performance and stuff like that. Their street performance, it's not so much opportunity for them to do that and mess with my frequency there. And even at home, I don't hardly go out in the backyard and stuff as much since all that stuff was happening with the neighbor I was telling you about, the car, and how they have a new tenant there, and there's been a lot of negative energy, cut down the bush and stuff. Just total frequency changed. It got worse. So I really don't even feel as comfortable sitting around my house anymore. And there's also a bum that has been living in the parking lot down the street. The memories of the house across the street and harassing me with the brain frequency technology. And even sometimes, like if I start doing certain research or talking about certain things, those men will come out of the house and start slamming garbage cans and shutting doors and letting their presence be known. And it's timely, okay? It's not random, it's timely. It's during certain times when you're doing particular research, when you have a frequency change, when you're headed towards you're doing particular research, you're headed toward a certain kind of thought process, and it really starts getting good to you, they try to disrupt you. You'll get phone calls, you'll get noise, you'll get lawn mowers and fire engines and people yelling and talking about mimicking words and things that have happened in your personal life. So they'll do pacing and mirroring, and they'll send frequencies to you, and you may even get some itching or burning or something, feeling like a pin is sticking you in your neck or your arm or your foot or something. Just like they'll do a whole bunch of stuff to you. It's extremely demonic. It's extremely demonic. Yeah. Totally mess up your frequency. So, and then they just drive around, So, that's basically what I wanted to share today about what I was going through with errands right now, similar to what I went through with Sprint company. And because they had a contract with me, I owe them money now because I broke a contract with a company that wasn't secretly not honoring their contract because they were doing a lot of low underhanded stuff or allowing their employees to break my rights. I'm calling myself black on paper, or they're identifying me as black, you don't have any rights. Okay, that was an illusion. Okay, the rights you think you have are only to keep the economy floating. And at any time they choose to, they can pull their trump card, which is to let you know they just look at you like a spade. Okay. They're to hoe and to dig stuff. Get it? So, they will keep you away from your light code to realize who and what you actually are as a light code being. I am a light code being. I am light. I am a light code being. Okay? Light synonymous with white. Okay? I'm a light worker. Okay? And they don't want that. They don't want that. Okay? They like to do their dark arts and confuse things and clutter up your frequency so that you're confused and angry and frightened and frustrated and anxious. And none of those things make me feel any closer to source until I work my way through them, past them, to realize who and what I actually am. It's a light code being. So they can do all those other things to disrupt your frequency and your aura, but it's only temporary. Turn back to the state of that which you actually are. And I am a light code being. This is Regina's Rabbit Hole, Siren Buddha Medicine. Much love to you and yours. Hope things are going well. I'm out. Good day. This is Regina's Rabbit Hole, Siren Buddha Medicine. So I just went back to errands on the second day when they said the manager would be there. And when I first showed up, the manager was there. She was taking care of a customer. And I heard her say she was on a conference call and was just taking care of that one customer really quick. And then she would be back or whatever. So I sat there at one of the little tables or whatever that they were going to sell to somebody on the display floor, on the showroom floor. And I said to myself, okay, I'll just be patient because at least she's here. When she finishes the conference call, I'll be here. So I'm sitting here. Eventually, one of the young ladies said, did anybody help you? And I said, oh, I'm waiting for the manager. I heard her say that she was on a conference call. I'm being patient. Okay, I'm right here. I'm waiting. No manager. I see other people that come in and out, and they can be taken care of with the regular employees. Fine, I'm still waiting. So then finally I ask, can you tell me, does the manager know that I'm waiting for her? Oh, she's on the conference call. Well, can you tell me when she's going to be finished? So at least, I'll know how long I have to wait. I don't know. Sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes a half an hour, sometimes an hour. So I don't know how long I'm supposed to be sitting here waiting for her. And then they could have called me and taken care of the problem. I'm here for something that I didn't even do. And so I'm starting to get really freaking aggravated. Now I don't even know how long I'm going to be waiting. And I shouldn't even be there to begin with. So I go outside, have a few words to the air, try to cool off. I go back in and I sit down. I'm sitting, I'm waiting. Like, what the blip? So then, finally, I see her, but I don't approach her because now I'm really pissed, and I can see the game, like they're playing games with me because they're friends with each other and probably don't even like the fact that I complained to begin with. That's totally unprofessional, errands, okay? The group think shit that was going on there was really screwed up. So, and you guys can't think worth crap. She tells me that she doesn't know why this guy was calling me to ask for money because the notation is right there in the computer that I didn't owe. Not only did that guy do it, but the woman that I came in and spoke with yesterday, she also did the same thing and couldn't look at the screen and tell me Oh yeah, we agree with you that you don't owe any money, and the manager put the notation right there. This guy kept telling me that the manager didn't put, no, the woman yesterday told me that the manager didn't put the notation in the computer and that it says that I owe money. She looks at the computer and says they didn't look at the notes that you don't owe any money. So now there's game plan going on here. And my initial issue was the fact that your people are calling me, harassing me for money that I do not owe. Not only that, but I've had problems from like the first week that I rented the freaking laptop with the plug not being the right plug. And then the attack on my bank account where they double billed me and then overdrafted my freaking account, and I had to go in and straighten out that mess. And they had that crazy manager calling me, telling me that I owed money, and I was trying to figure out why I owe them money when it was supposed to come directly out of my account, and I actually paid to make sure that the monies would come directly out of my account. So she looks at me and tells me that the notation is in the computer and tries to brush it off and tells me she doesn't understand why I'm so upset. So you people are so dislocated from your feelings and emotions of being a human being. So you would like to be treated like how I was treated? First of all, if you weren't short on money, you wouldn't be renting from some freaking rent-a-center place anyway. So why would you want somebody calling you, telling you that you owed money that you don't freaking owe? And that's not supposed to be hostile? Come on now. And then you act like it ain't nothing. So she says to me, well, what can I do for you? Well, we know you don't owe any money, but what can I do for you? Tell that man don't ever call my freaking phone again. Never. Okay, I'll tell him to never call you again. Thank you. He sounded hostile. Well, how did he sound? That was hostile. I said he sounded like some kind of drug dealer or mob boss. Oh, well, what does one sound like? Watch TV. Okay? That's what he sounded like. Very hostile. Like I sound right now. Asking me for money that I didn't even freaking owe. And he wasn't listening to me. Now I have a legitimate reason to be angry. But I'm telling myself that I shouldn't legitimately be angry because I might upset the people who actually incurred it to begin with. I am so tired of having to act like a sheep just so I don't get in trouble. When they're already character assassinating you, you might as well just stand up for yourself. This is ridiculous. Anyway, I got the situation straightened out, but I need to find a different place to rent from because that's just totally ridiculous. And I hope the next place that I rent from isn't got somebody paid off from the government there to harass me. Much love to you and yours. This is Siren Buddha Medicine, Regina's Rabbit Hole. I'm out.